Mindful Reality, the channel that covers reality TV from a mental health perspective. How y'all doing? I hope y'all are doing well. I hope y'all are feeling well. I hope that the holiday season has been everything that you wanted it to be. Um, how does that saying go that is does not apply to this at all, but just popped into my head? I hate to see you leave, but I love to watch you go. That's not the context. I'm sure not many people have used that phrase in this context, but I'm using it in that context. Holidays, I hate to see you leave, but I love to watch you go. Here's why. There's some little parts that I like about the holidays. I will admit, you take away holidays, all of them, right? Because I always talk about how I don't like all these different holidays, not just the big ones, but the small ones, and then the micro holidays that not everybody even celebrates but are on the calendar, national this day, national that day, whatever. You eliminate and eradicate holidays. And Mark would literally, you know what? The experience that people who are close to me would get would be better than the experiences that anyone else would get. Like those holiday people, right? Because I do things all year round and I always have made that my argument when people have said I don't do enough on those holidays. And I'm like, okay, you take what that 1 day a year type of person did for you on that 1 day. And if you could tell me that that thing they did on that 1 day is more than what I have done on the other 364, then I'll tell you that I haven't done enough. Otherwise, I will justify my stance by saying, despite the fact that I might not necessarily go all out on the day, I'm a such a just because person. Just because I did this, just because you can have this, just because, you know, just because I care, that type of thing. But what I would say is like the point I was trying to make is when it comes to family, some families are like extremely, extremely, extremely tight knit. Now, my family, we were kind of tight knit when I was growing up. Hi him and hi Sebastian. My family was kind of tight knit when we were growing up. When I was growing up, not when we were growing up. I don't know why I said that. When I was growing up, my family was kind of tight knit, but it was tight knit because there were people in the family that were like glue people. My grandfather was one of them. My grandfather loved the family being together. My grandfather loved holidays and having everyone over at his place, at his house, and just everybody was always together constantly because of him. When he passed, the family get-togethers were a lot fewer and a lot farther between, and now we're at a point where it's like everyone kind of has their own separate things going on. Like some people have families to raise, some people have, they're going after their careers. Some people are located in one part of the world, like where we live, like where I live in New York. Geographically, I think there's like a couple of relatives that are nearby, but not relatives that I know, not relatives that I grew up with. So I don't experience closeness to them like that. So honestly, to be quite honest, the holiday puts me in places with family that I wouldn't be otherwise, quite frankly, because and it's not that I don't care about my family. I do, but it's just that I have such a strong value for consistently. So in my head and in my mind, I'm always going to prioritize the people who are consistently there versus the people who are not. There are exceptions. My grandmother, like there was a point in time where I lived with my grandmother. Then there's another point in time when we would speak, every single day. Well, not every single day, but at least every other day. Like there was times in my life when I spoke to her so frequently. Um, and even though we don't speak as frequently as that now, that would never impact her position in my life. Her high position in my life would never be impacted by how often we speak. Let's see. You're blocked. You were trying to type that out a bunch of times, weren't you? But nope. Now that I'm actually doing a live when I'm not driving, I can look at your comments and you got a shorter rope. Anyways, there's other people who have been so sometimes in my life that I'm like, I know your family and all, but I don't really need to be around you. But then we're brought together by holidays, weddings, and funerals. Literally. So I guess if there was no holidays, um, weddings and funerals would bring us around each other eventually, unless they were the person in the funeral or I was the person in the funeral, because then um, that wouldn't really bring us together. But it would bring us together, but not not in a real way, because we're not going to be connecting if one of us is not breathing. But yeah, so that's the benefit. But in terms of the love to watch you go part, when Christmas comes around, my usual route that I take to my gym significantly impacted. It takes much longer for me to get to my house from my house to the gym. Like the gym that I chose to go to is a good 15 to 20-minute drive each way on the times that I usually go, right? But actually, I try to go to the gym since it's not right by my house and I know that I have to pass by the area that the gym is in. I tend to just leave my gym bag in my car and then just stop in the middle on the way back to my house or on my way away from my house. But anyways, that nice 20 minute drive turns into a 40-minute drive, 45 minutes, because all this traffic, because I live close to a mall. Now, the mall, that's another story. People packing the mall, the parking lot being full all the time. Um, I don't even want to go into the store. The lines, there's that part. There's the nasty part of the season where it's all about just competitively trying to make sure that I can get or give the top gift. There's the whole social media thing where everyone's trying to post their perfect food, their perfect family, and their perfect life. My screen is not a black screen. My screen is a picture of myself. Weird comment. But anyways, thanks for the floating heart and thanks for the happy poop. People seem to love that. People seem to love sending that particular thing. Okay, so yeah, I can't wait until we get into January 1st, because I know that actually December 26th, tomorrow, I know that there's going to be a long amount of days before the next one, and that makes me happy. I know there's like little holidays in between, little celebration days and not milestones. I don't, you know what I'm trying to say. There's days in between. There's little things that people celebrate in between those big things that they celebrate, but this is like one of the biggest things, if not the biggest. Um, so we knocked that bad boy out of the way, and tomorrow is just back to the same old, the grind, the regular, and I hope that all of you enjoyed your holidays to a significant degree. And I'm gonna stop promising the things that I'm trying to do with my page because I feel like I don't like making so many different promises and not doing anything about it. So I'm gonna, not gonna really talk too much about my goals for 2026 when it comes to the page, but just know that my mind is always going. It's just finding the time to catch up. Chocolate, you are so lucky you jumped in right this second because I was 30 seconds away from wrapping up this live. But hello, Merry Christmas. Should I go from a medium demon? Okay. In Geometry Dash. Well, that's an excellent question for another channel. Lucky that I'm still here because I actually got on here and I basically got through everything I was gonna say. Nothing was really in the chat, so you caught me in the middle of wrapping up this live. I just happened to see your comment right before I got to that part. I just got alerted though. Oh, it's not your fault. It's just that I don't really have much more to say. I finished what I came on here to say. And that's pretty much it. You're driving on the freeway. That's usually me. And today I'm sitting in my room doing my live. Which somebody said, all I'm seeing is a black screen. And I'm like, no, you should be seeing a little picture of my face. Not my face in real time, but a little picture of my face. Are you allowed to mention medical terms? Yeah, why wouldn't you be? There's no reason why you cannot mention medical terms.